Good morning and welcome back. Romel Santiago here once again. So, almost 100% of my clients in my private practice have what I call the feelings thermometer. For a quick glimpse, you may have seen it on our YouTube channel. If you've seen the YouTube channel, you may have seen a quick glimpse of me explaining what the feelings thermometer is. But let me go over a few things. First, this is going to be super important, and I'll tell you why. First, we need to know our own emotional state before engaging in any conversation. It is impossible to go from 0 to 10 in the snap of a finger. Chances are you're already escalated and hitting the temperature danger zone and don't even know it. When that happens, our defenses begin getting triggered. Depending on how our brain perceives this information, we may go into fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. When this happens, and here's where I'm gonna get geeky and nerdy for a bit, our brains are essentially shut down and we don't make rash decisions, nor do we process information. We are programmed at this point to shut down until our brain deems that we are safe. I won't go into fight, flight, freeze, or fawn in this course, but there will be a trauma course that I'll dive more into it. Knowing where we are emotionally means that we feel safe and our partners do so as well. So here's the first exercise. I want you to pause the video on my face while you go grab a pen and paper or print out the feelings thermometer. That was a shout out to one of my favorite astrologers, Chris Cressini. Our scale is going to go from 1 to 10, where 1 is the calmest that you can remember being, and 10 is the most extreme emotional state. Anyway, now that you have your pen and paper, I want you to think about the calmest that you can remember being in the past 2 or 3 years. We're not comparing it to a Buddhist monk living in silence or what we are told is calm. For me, calm is sitting on my balcony at night with a glass of whiskey and a cigar. What is your calm? Think about a time when you were the calmest that you can remember being. Great. Now that you have that in your mind, think back on that time and think about how you knew you were calm. Not just what was not there, but what was there, physically, mentally, internally, externally. For example, I know I'm calm when I'm consciously breathing deep. My thoughts are slower. Energetically, I know I'm connected to the universe. My feet are still and not fidgeting. Shoulders are relaxed. Notice how all of these are how I know I'm calm by what is there. When my jaw is not clenched, I'm not getting up. I'm not keeping busy. My hands are not fidgeting. My stomach is not upset. Notice that all of these are how I know I'm calm by what is not there. Take some time and pause on my face again and complete this step. Did you catch that? Now I want you to circle all of the ways that are visible to other people. For example, if you were to see me at my calmest, you would know because I've listed out, I'm breathing deeply, my feet are still, my hands are not fidgeting, I'm sitting and not getting up, my shoulders are relaxed. Now, underline all of the ways that are internal that others cannot see. For example, my thoughts are slower. I'm energetically connected. My stomach is not upset. It does not and should not be perfect. This is just version 1.0. It's going to need some more work, and it's going to need practice and revision, but it should not be perfect. It's just a starting point. This is where we're going to begin. Great. Now that you've done your 1, from a 1, we go to the other extreme, a 10. Ask yourself those questions again. And remember, a 10 is an extreme emotional state. Since 10 can be anger, sadness, fear, anxiety, etc., think about several situations where you were at a 10, not just anger. For me, anger was the day I filed for divorce. Sad was the day my best friend and my nephew passed away. Anxiety is anytime I go into a nightclub past midnight or a super crowded event like the Pride Parade. So think about your 10s. Now, chances are your body or your brain or your emotions are beginning to increase. Take note of that because it is normal. Take a deep breath in for the count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Now get your pen and paper ready, because now we're going to jot down all the things that are there, followed by all the things that are not there. Again, try to pause on my face. Great. Now I want you to list 5 things that you see with your eyes without judgment. For example, I see my cat lying on the bed. I see my other cat sitting on the chair. I see my water bottle. I see my cup of coffee. I see my computer screen. Deep breath. Now 4 things that you physically feel. For example, I feel the chair on my back. I feel my foot heel on the floor. My watch on my wrist. My hat on my head. Deep breath. Now 3 things that you hear. I hear the street vendor outside. I hear salsa music. I hear a child yelling. Deep breath. 2 things that you smell. I smell my workout clothes, and I smell something sweet. Deep breath. And 1 thing that you taste. Great. Now go back and circle the visible signs and underline the internal signs. Now that we have our 2 extremes, this is super important because now we can actually begin thinking about the middle ground. The middle ground is our 5. Not the number we find ourselves at on a day-to-day basis, but the 5 is what is a middle point. By now you know the drill. Get your pen and paper ready. Jot down all the things that are there, followed by all the things that are not there. Pause on my face and get ready to write. Great. How many times have you caught my face? Be honest. Okay. Looks like the next part is going to be a bit more difficult. So now I want you to come up with your 3 and your 7 using the exact same way that we came up with our 1, our 5, and our 10. So pause the video, complete your 3 and your 7. Great job. But it doesn't stop there. So far we have our 1, 3, 5, 7, and 10. Here is where you now identify what number you typically find yourself on an average day based on what you have already written down. This is what we're going to call your baseline. Put a star by that number because this is going to give you a great idea of how to move forward in a bit. Next is story time. Most folks know I was a chef in my past. Now I still remember all the things they drilled into my head. For example, do you know what the internal temperature of a chicken breast should be cooked at? 165 degrees for 15 seconds. If you've ever seen a cooking thermometer, you know that there's a white face with a red part. This section is 40 degrees to 140 degrees, and this is known as the temperature danger zone. This is the zone, this is the temperature, this is the area that bacteria can grow and thrive in. So you always want to serve hot foods above 140 and cold foods below 40. Your temperature danger zone is going to go to 10, but it's going to start at a specific number. This number is going to be the number that is hard to come down from. The number where you have more likelihood of escalating. I want you to think about that number, and then I want you to go one number lower. If your number is a 7, I want your temperature danger zone to be a 6. If your number is an 8, start your temperature danger zone at a 7. Where your temperature danger zone starts, I want you to draw a box around where it starts and the number 10. This means if your temperature danger zone starts at a 6, conversations cannot and should not happen at a 5. We need wiggle room in case anything does happen. This is why the prep work is so important, because if we're not emotionally safe, neither is our partner. So, I'm going to encourage you to keep pulling out your feelings thermometer and checking in with yourself. You've done some great work of identifying your feelings thermometer version 1.0. Keep it with you and update it in a few months. The challenge is to check in with yourself every day at least 3 times. What number am I at? What makes me a 4 instead of a 5? Or a 4 instead of a 3? Challenge yourself. Question this process. Question why you chose this number. But at the end of the day, have fun with it. So, that being said, we've done some great work today. And we do have to pause, but I hope you all have a wonderful, amazing rest of this beautiful day, and I will see you soon.